What if the universe was built on 7 secret laws, hidden in plain sight, guiding everything from your thoughts to the stars? For thousands of years, mystics and sages have guarded this ancient wisdom. Today, we unlock the 7 Hermetic Principles, timeless truths that could change the way you see reality forever. Overview. What if the teachings of Jesus held more than just moral lessons? What if they echoed ancient universal laws, hidden in plain sight? In this exploration, we journey beyond traditional interpretations to uncover a powerful connection between Hermeticism and the words of Jesus of Nazareth. While these traditions emerged from different worlds, one from the mystical wisdom of ancient Egypt and Greece, the other from the sacred hills of Judea, they speak a similar truth. The universe is governed by deeper laws, and we are a part of them. Hermeticism, rooted in the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, speaks of 7 fundamental principles, timeless truths that govern reality from the stars above to the thoughts within our minds. These are not just abstract ideas. They are spiritual, keys to understanding life, consciousness, and creation. Surprisingly, we find these same ideas reflected in the parables and teachings of Christ. His words, often seen as purely religious, may also reveal the same hidden mechanics of the universe that Hermeticism describes. Could it be that Jesus, in his divine insight, was expressing the same eternal truths? In this video, we uncover the 7 Hermetic Principles, according to Jesus. We'll trace each law from mentalism to correspondence and beyond, as revealed through the words and actions of Christ. As you'll see, the bridge between Hermetic wisdom and Christian teaching may not be a coincidence, it might just be a revelation. Vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. At the core of this principle is the understanding that everything in the universe, from the smallest particle to the largest star, is in constant motion. Even what appears solid is vibrating at the molecular level. This rhythm of energy flows through all of creation, shaping the fabric of reality. Jesus, too, understood the power of vibration. Though he didn't use this language, his actions and words reflect a deep awareness of energetic movement. When Jesus calmed the storm in Mark 4:39, he didn't just quiet the physical winds and waves, he brought harmony to the underlying energy. "Peace, be still," he said, and the chaotic vibrations of the storm fell into perfect stillness. His words carried a vibration strong enough to shift nature itself. Jesus' miracles were not merely acts of divine intervention, but demonstrations of the principle that all things vibrate at different frequencies. When Jesus healed the sick, he raised their vibrational state. He understood that illness, pain, and suffering are manifestations of lower vibrations, and by infusing them with higher frequencies of love, compassion, and faith, he could restore balance and health. In John 11:43, when Jesus called Lazarus from the tomb, he used the power of his voice, his very words, to bring life back into a body that had ceased to move. "Lazarus, come forth." These were not just words, they were vibrations charged with divine energy, strong enough to reverse the ultimate low vibration, death. The principle of vibration tells us that our words, thoughts, and emotions are not idle. They are powerful forces that carry energy. Jesus demonstrated how faith, spoken intention, and focused thought can change the very fabric of reality. When he taught his followers that faith could move mountains, he was showing us that by aligning with the right frequency through belief, love, and divine purpose, we can affect the world around us. The universe is alive with vibration, and Jesus calls us to attune ourselves to the higher frequencies of love, peace, and faith. When we do, we not only transform ourselves, but also the world around us, participating in the divine rhythm of creation. The 4th Hermetic Principle. Polarity is polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has everything has its pair of opposites. This principle teaches that opposites are not truly separate but are different degrees of the same thing. White and dark, hot and cold, joy and sorrow, all are part of the same continuum, existing only in relation to each other. Without one, the other could not be known. Jesus frequently spoke of these opposites in their deeper spiritual meaning. His teachings were filled with paradoxes that reflected the unity hidden within duality. In Matthew 20:16, he declared, "The last shall be first, and the first last." This is more than a moral lesson. It is an expression of the Hermetic principle of polarity, what seems like opposites last and first high and low, a part of the same divine cycle constantly shifting and transforming into one another throughout his ministry. Jesus taught that humility leads to greatness, that life emerges from death, and that strength is found in weakness. These teachings are not contradictions but insights into the truth of polarity. Just as light cannot exist without darkness, greatness cannot exist without the experience of humility. Jesus showed us that embracing the extremes of life, both the highs and the lows, leads to spiritual wholeness in Luke 9:24. Jesus says, "For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for my sake will save it." This profound statement is another reflection of polarity to truly live. One must embrace death of the ego, death of attachment to the material world. Through this sacrifice, we find true life, eternal and unshakable. The Hermetic principle of polarity reminds us that every experience, whether joyful or painful, contains its opposite. It is through embracing both sides of the spectrum that we find balance and transcend the illusion of separation. Jesus invited his followers to see beyond the surface of duality and to recognize the unity behind it. In the end, the opposites we encounter in life are not in conflict, they are in harmony, constantly flowing into one another as part of the divine plan. Jesus teaches us that to understand the fullness of life, we must accept both joy and suffering, strength and weakness, and in doing so we rise above the polarities that seem to divide us. The rhythm, the universe dances to a silent rhythm. The tides rise and fall. The sun sets only to rise again, and seasons shift in perfect harmony. Rhythm is the heartbeat of creation, a reminder that everything flows in and out, that life moves in cycles. Jesus, too, recognized this sacred rhythm. He spoke of divine timing, urging us to trust that to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. From birth to death, joy to sorrow, planting to harvest, life unfolds in waves designed by the Creator. His miracles followed this rhythm. Whether calming a storm or raising the dead, Jesus moved in tune with the natural and spiritual flow. He taught that pain is not the end. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 35. The principle of rhythm teaches us this. Even in our darkest moments, the light is already on its way. Like the seasons, we too are meant to rise, fall, and rise again, growing with each turn of life's sacred cycle. Cause and effect. Nothing happens by accident. Every thought, every word, every action sets into motion an unseen chain of events. The universe operates on law, not luck. This is the principle of cause and effect. Jesus echoed this truth when he said, "Whatever a man sows, that shall he also reap." Galatians 6:7. He wasn't speaking only of farming. He was teaching a spiritual law. Our choices shape our destiny. Every seed we plant, whether in kindness, love, anger, or neglect, will bear fruit in time. Jesus illustrated this through parables of sowing and harvest. He taught that the condition of the heart is the soil in which those seeds grow, and what we nurture within becomes the world we experience. His healings weren't random acts. They were deliberate seeds of faith, love, and divine intention, and the ripple effects touched not just the healed but entire communities. Cause and effect reminds us we are co-creators of our lives. Every action we take today builds the foundation of tomorrow. With the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. Luke 6:38. To follow Jesus is to act with purpose, knowing that even the smallest act of goodness can change the course of the world. Gender and understanding and respect for both masculine and feminine qualities. He honored both not as opposites but as complementary forces that work together in harmony. Jesus' interactions with women, such as his deep respect for Mary Magdalene, reflect a profound balance of these energies. Mary Magdalene was not merely a follower but a vital part of his spiritual mission in a time when women were often marginalized. Jesus elevated them, recognizing their divine role in the unfolding of God's plan. In her, we see the feminine energy of intuition, compassion, and nurturing. Wisdom, just as the sun provides life and the moon guides through the night. Both masculine and feminine energies are necessary for balance and creation. Jesus understood this sacred dance embodying both strength and tenderness, justice and mercy, his strength in challenging the corruption of the temple, and his gentleness in healing the brokenhearted. We're not in conflict but in perfect harmony, reflecting the union of these divine principles. The Hermetic principle of gender reminds us that creation itself emerges from the interplay of masculine and feminine forces. In the same way, Jesus' teachings point to a divine balance that transcends gender, inviting us to embrace the wholeness of who we are. As we look to the heavens, we see this balance reflected in all things in the spiritual journey. We are called to recognize both energies within ourselves, to embody the strength of the divine masculine and the nurturing wisdom of the divine feminine. Jesus showed us that the path to divine wisdom in creation is found in the union of these energies. The principle of gender is not about separation but about unity, about coming together in perfect harmony to reflect the fullness of the Creator's design. As we've explored these ancient Hermetic principles, we've seen how they resonate deeply with the teachings of Jesus, though separated by time and tradition. The wisdom of Hermeticism and the message of Christ share striking parallels, both pointing to a deeper understanding of the universe and our place within it. In reflecting on these truths, we are invited to apply them in our own lives. Can we embrace the rhythms and cycles of life, trusting in divine timing? Can we see our seeds of love and light, knowing that what we give will return to us in kind? And can we embody the balance of masculine and feminine energies, creating harmony in ourselves and in the world around us? Thank you for joining us on this journey through the 7 Hermetic Principles and their connection to the teachings of Jesus. If these insights have resonated with you, now is the perfect time to continue your exploration. Which of the Hermetic principles do you see reflected most in your own life right now? Is it rhythm, cause and effect, or another? How have you seen it play out? Through a challenge, a miracle, or even a quiet realization? Comment below with your thoughts, stories, or questions. Let's learn from each other. Remember, wisdom shared is wisdom multiplied.